Hey y'all, and thanks for joining me once again this week. Today we're going to be talking about navigating toxic and abusive relationships. When I say relationships, I mean either a partner, parents, siblings, friends, any kind of relationship. So I grew up in a really toxic household. I was abused emotionally, but also physically. And the thing is that when I was growing up in it, up until a certain point, which was probably my late teens, I didn't think it was abusive. I didn't think there was anything wrong with it. And as I mentioned, it wasn't until about my late teens when I was allowed to start going to my friends' houses sometimes. And when I was there, I would notice that their families just seemed so, friendly and loving. The way they spoke to each other was so different than the way my family spoke to each other, the way my parents spoke to us, and the way my parents spoke to each other. So now I'm like a teenager and I'm realizing that some things aren't quite right. I'm definitely not in a safe home and it's really toxic. So I'm starting to reflect on things that have happened. Like when I was growing up, I used to write my birth mom letters, okay? Telling her that she was worth it and beautiful and amazing and she didn't deserve the way my stepdad treated her. And then she would give those letters back to me after she read them, and I would hide them in my bookshelf so that he wouldn't find them. There's just so much wrong with that. Let's unpack that for a moment. First off, I'm writing my birth mom letters, validating her, looking out for her emotions as the child. As a child, it is never your responsibility. It is not your children's responsibility to deal with the parents' emotions or feelings. It's not the child's responsibility to help the parent cope with anything in life. If a child is grown and wants to be supportive and loving, that's great. There's a difference between that and what I was doing as a child. But then also, instead of telling me that, instead of having a conversation with me about it, she gives the letters back to me because she doesn't know what to do with them. And she doesn't tell me what to do, so I just hide them so he doesn't find them, so that maybe one day she'll have them back or something. I don't know really what my thought process was. I didn't know how toxic it was. So now I'm an adult. And I'm navigating toxic relationships every day in my life. I think most people are, right? We meet people throughout our lives, and some of them are healthy people, some of them are not. Some of them are not healthy people, but know it and are working on it to get better. And there's a difference between those people and the people who are just making active choices to stay unhealthy and making active choices to be a toxic person. Now, here's the thing. If you're wondering if this relationship you have is toxic, if you're wondering if it's abusive, if there are things that make you question, then it probably is. And I urge you to talk to somebody you trust and feel safe with. Now, what should you do if you're in a toxic or abusive relationship? First thing I mentioned, let's talk to somebody safe, talk to somebody you trust. If you can, get out of it. It's easier to do with friends, right? It's easier to just be like, yo, I'm not interested in being friends anymore. It's a little bit harder to do if you're in an abusive relationship with a partner, right? A boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, whatever. That can be more difficult, especially if children are involved, right? And I acknowledge that. And then there are parents. And if you're a minor, that's difficult to get away from. And then even if you're an adult, it's so hard to walk away from parents. I got goosebumps just, thinking back to that right now. I think that people think if you walk away, you're filled with nothing but joy, right? Because you've shut out this toxic, abusive person. But the truth is that there's a guilt, there's a sadness that goes along with it. There's a mourning period, there's a loss. I went around in life saying that I felt like my birth mother was dead. And in a way, to me, she is. We don't talk. I don't see her. She could be alive. She could be dead. I don't really know. I don't. And the thing is that I'm still better off. So even though there's that pain, and I've gotten over that pain. I'm in a much better place. Believe me that circumstances are temporary. Feelings can change, evolve, and grow, and time truly does heal. So I urge you, whatever kind of relationship you're in, if it's toxic, abusive, talk to somebody you trust and feel safe with. Get those feelings out. You're not alone. You're not the only one. I promise. Oftentimes when we're in toxic relationships, whether we know it or not, our abuser can really make us believe that we're the only ones. They're the only ones that can love us. We're the only one in this kind of situation, and that we are not worthy of outside love. My birth mother, she used to call me a genius, to be spiteful, to actually call me stupid. And she used to tell me that I was really book smart, but I had no street sense. Now I'm an adult. People call me smart, and I am genuinely flabbergasted. Still, I'm 27 years old. I've had no contact with my birth mother for about 4 years now, and I'm still flabbergasted when somebody says I'm smart. The words that she said to me still live up here in my brain, and I'm trying to kick them out, and slowly, they're all being evicted. I'm working on it. They've all got eviction notices, but they haven't quite made their way out yet. Working on it. It's important to remember that the words that our abusers and these toxic people spew at us, they're not representations of who we are. They reflect the person that said those things, okay? You are not alone. You are worthy. You are beautiful. You are loved. You are valuable. You are smart. You are talented. You are cared for. Your life has so much value. Don't let somebody tell you otherwise. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Blood relation is not a free pass to treat somebody however way you want. All right? Remember this, please, please, please. If you can't tell yourself, hear me. I love you. I care about you. I value you. I see you. I see your struggle. I see your fight, and you're not alone. Y'all are so loved. Y'all are so valuable. I mean it genuinely from the bottom of my heart. If you like my content, if you like my videos, please hit that subscribe button. Please, please, please. And hit that bell button for the notifications. All right. If you haven't already, follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Augie Ryan. You can also friend me on Facebook, August Sanger. Thank you guys so much for your support. I was overwhelmed when I started making TikTok videos, and all of a sudden I am at 66,000 followers. I wouldn't be here without y'all. I am floored by the amount of love that y'all give to me every single day. And if I can give a morsel of that back to you, I'm doing an okay job. See y'all next week.